Hi, this is Copa Silas Atetfo. I'm bringing you this short video on a political education question regarding our Amazonian Southern Cameroonian revolution. I sat this evening thinking to myself, after having some conversations with friends, and something stood out to me, and uh, I summarized it to geopolitics. And actually, what is geopolitics? Geopolitics is simply the is referring to the relationship, the political relationship between countries, or the effects of geography, the effects that geography have on politics. Because uh, how who lives next to you affects some of the things that you do. Who you are involved with has an effect on some of the things that you do. So if you understand how your relationship with your neighbor, what your relationship with your neighbor is, you can better know how to strategize on some of the things that you do. If you know that you can leave your children and your neighbor will take care of them, then you can best make a decision of how long you want to go and stay outside. That's just a comment. But geopolitics, which is how geography affects the political relationship, the politics in a given country, is something that we need to try to understand, especially in our revolution, the geopolitics of Amazonian revolution. I was after conversations with some of my friends and really good friends, and I came back trying to reflect, and I was thinking about the geopolitics of our revolution, and I'm looking at the our how our relationship with the people, the countries that surround us, as well as the countries that influence our relationship with La République du Cameroon and also the rest of the world. So geopolitics in this case is not necessarily just the nearest geography that we're talking about, but international relations as a whole. So I was looking at our geopolitics in our Amazonian sense, and who our relevant geographical partners or influencers are, and how that affects our revolution. This is a question that I'm pondering my thoughts about, and I want to throw this in our political education forum, and let's see what we can come out with. We have La République du Cameroon that is there, that also have geopolitical relationship with other countries. How their relation with other countries also affect our revolution, because for the most part, we really do not have a, a political relationship per se as Amazonia with any given nation yet. That's what we are trying to create. But we must understand that La République du Cameroon has serious geopolitical relationship with countries. And understanding the relationship of La République du Cameroon with these countries can better tell who we work with and how we work with them. So it is important for us to brainstorm and understand this geopolitical side of the struggle, so that we can better relate and strategize our moves. La République du Cameroon has a strong relationship with the UN, especially as they were chairing the budget committee. We all know that is a strong relationship right there. We all know that France is actually the brainchild of our sovereign, and it's a strategic partner, geopolitical partner with La République du Cameroon. if we look further into France, we see that France is also a member of the Security Council. That connection right there comes back. We also know the influence of France in Europe. France is a big political partner in Europe. That is geopolitical connection that La République is, that links up with the rest of the world, and how we break some of these these geopolitical links is how we actually liberate ourselves from the carnage and the web that we currently find ourselves in. Same France is a strong NATO member. If we know what NATO is, and then we look at our revolution and we see the people that make decisions on how certain things happen around the world, we would know what direction to take, who to talk to, and what we tell them when we get to meet them. So understanding the geopolitics is very important. We already know that at the moment, La République du Cameroon has a strong political relationship with Nigeria, who is also our geographical neighbor, but we have not established a geopolitical relationship with Nigeria yet, not as far as I know. So these are all things that we need to explore and understand, because the concept of it itself is something that we need to understand. Else we will just be pushing ourselves blindly, and then we are not we are hitting ourselves so hard, working very hard but not smart. So geopolitics, it's the term that struck my mind this evening, and I want to also pray you all in the forum to have this geopolitical discussion, and let's see what we can come out with. How strategic all the geopolitical partners, if we have them, and the ones that La République already have, how they are operating, and how we can break into systems. Mind you, the African Union that we so want to lobby sometimes, we must also understand that the European Union is a big sponsor of the African Union. It is unfortunate that it has to be like that, but the European Union is a geopolitical partner of the African Union. So if France is a major partner in European politics, and France is a major holder of the United Nations, France is a big partner in NATO, we must have a strategy to break these bounds, or we will have to understand this and come to a conclusion on what method we use to prosecute the revolution. We will now probably have to strategize and discard a certain route of our operations, knowing that breaking those rounds will either be too difficult, or we come out with real ideas that we'll have to sell to break those grounds. Geopolitics, relationship, political interaction within countries, across borders, and how geography itself just affects politics is what is on my mind today. Let's all brainstorm, have discussions, come out with some kind of conclusions on how Ambazonia can build a geopolitical relationship for the struggle. Ambazonia as a nation, we need a relationship out there with the rest of the world, and we are not certain yet. We don't have that route. We don't have a specific route. We have not understood the geopolitical nature of things, as far as I'm concerned, to get our route to restoration completed. Let's not forget that at the end of the day, negotiations will happen, and relationships, geopolitics is what is going to resolve a conflict is what is going to build that negotiations, and we must know who we are dealing with, how we are dealing with them, and why we are dealing with them. Geopolitics. Silas at tape for Scopa, Silas at tape for Scopes Political Education. Thank you. See you in the forum for further discussions. Thanks.